Norman Trek, Deary Brothers Ford. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike's E-Keys for Cars. GG Carr and his crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. The Sanctuary Pub on South Gilbert. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Oxyoke Inn in the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. Wild Rose Casino in Clinton. Dirk Sterner Taxidermy. And Dr. Lance Forbes Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. Here's Tom Suter and Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com.
Well, there you go. So how's Caps Day going so far? Finest show you've done in 50-plus years?
Well, at least in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah?
Great show. Wonderful show.
So
I think that Bobby Boris Pickett song.
Was that Monsters Holiday?
Yeah.
That's not very good, is it?
You can tell he's doing all the voices. He doesn't even try to change.
No. And I loved Monster Mash.
But the guy, yeah, when he died, he was worth $5 million, and now his estate's worth $12 million.
Really?
Yeah.
So that should give hope to all DJs out there. You too can be worth $12 million after you die.
After you die.
After you die.
Well, that Ross Bagdad, I wonder what his.
Oh, his would be much higher, wouldn't it? Like 30 million, maybe.
His. No. 50 million.
Oh.
Well,
he invented something
when
didn't
he died. Yeah, Elvin.
The Chipmunks, yeah.
Yeah, he invented speeding up your voice. Now, let's see what the kid is worth. The kid is worth 75
million.
Yeah,
or dollars.
No, 75 million.
So he inherited all of Ross's.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So
then he inherited the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
So have they done anything since the 60s?
A couple of cartoons. I mean, they're still running some of those cartoons in other countries. I don't think they are here.
Because I thought they were pretty cool at the time when I was like 8.
Well,
7 or 8.
Yeah, they put the show on originally on a Wednesday night, like at 6:30 on CBS.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you watched it too.
Yeah, it was on TV. We had, 2 channels? We had 2 channels in the Quad Cities till 63. We would get like 9 sometimes. I get it in my room, but we couldn't get it in the living room.
We had 2, 7, and 9 here.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure when Channel 12 came along, PBS. Not sure when that was
70,
invented.
I think, or something like that.
And when did WQAD come in?
That signed on October August 1st of 63.
So so we got that channel.
And
I never understood the UHF crap.
Yeah, and then Junior Achievement, that was in August, and then Junior Achievement when I was in school that September, they said, hey, anybody interested in TV? And that's when I got.
And you said, yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Karen.
Okay, what are your predictions for both men and women with the Cyclones?
My prediction is the women win tonight and that the men lose a close one tomorrow night.
Do you think didn't the Iowa State women lose by quite a bit to Drake?
Yeah, I think they did. They've got some talent, but they're real young, and I know they got what I think is the last Jones girl.
Yeah, well, it's not the last one because I think they still have a younger one.
There's another one?
Yeah, there were 5 of them.
Wow. Okay.
But I know the younger one is quite a bit younger than the other bunch.
And is
Because
she,
we saw them at prime time.
is she a basketball phenom as well?
Well, I think she does play basketball.
Yeah.
But she was just a little teeny kid when they were at prime time.
Yeah.
And so the men, well, they got that big loss that they had at Purdue. They were just overtaken. I mean, just no help at all.
Did you watch the whole game?
Yeah, I watched the whole game.
Yeah. I did not. I watched about the first 8 minutes and saw where the two possessions where they got offensive rebound after offensive rebound, and then they got wide open 3-point shots, and of course they made them eventually.
Well, I was texting my sister, and she said, "I can't watch this. It's too depressing."
Yeah, well,
but then yet you guys sit through the Iowa offense. That's in football. I find that sort of amazing.
There's one big difference.
We've learned to be depressed.
The other big difference is the football team seems to win.
Well, not the big games. This was the number 4 team in the country. The basketball team was playing.
Yeah.
When the football team plays those teams, they lose. And they don't score any points, and the offense is horrible, but yet you watch it. I just find it ironic. You bail on basketball after 8 minutes, but you'll grind through the misery of football.
And I will tell you exactly why. There are 12 football games a year.
That's better than football wins.
And there are 64 basketball games.
And you like football more than basketball, don't you? Have you experienced the tailgating?
It's an event. Football's an event. Basketball is.
But you only lasted 8 minutes the other day?
It might have been a little longer than that, but not. I mean, with those two series, I said, well, this is how this game's going to go.
Yeah, I mean.
I could see that they were having problems, but I stick by them and watch the whole thing.
Way to go, Karn.
I stood the whole game.
Good.
I did too, but I had to.
Swearing.
Wow.
Swearing.
Yes, I don't let the games bug me. They just don't get to me anymore.
The dog's looking at me going.
Now, did you think Fran had a right to be as upset as he was?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad
area?
call.
It was a bad call.
But it didn't help. I mean, sometimes his tees helped us, but nothing was going to help the other night.
No.
We're not going to win. Kind of like Iowa football against Penn State and Michigan.
Yep.
There was just nothing that was going to.
I even noticed that Patrick reached over to say, "Dad, Dad."
Yeah, I mean, he was upset. I mean, he did calm down. At least he didn't get another one and get ejected. But I think he was trying to provide a spark, and he was upset about the call.
And it didn't work.
There was just nothing that was going to work.
No.
I remember when I knew Eddie Watt, he said that Earl Weaver would do that to get their boys going. He'd get all uptight and sometimes get thrown out of the game just so his boys would get moving.
Yeah, baseball managers do that a lot.
Yeah.
Baseball's a weird sport, though, man. I mean,
it is.
You don't play it with emotion. At least it's not one of those.
Well, it's different.
I mean, the more emotional you get, the harder it is to play.
In there.
You grip the bat harder. You want to throw the pitch harder. I mean, lots of times I remember overthrowing a pitch, then you either throw a ball or baseball's different.
What I love about baseball is the managers dress in the uniforms.
Yeah, can you imagine Fran in like
or Kirk
wearing pads and a helmet.
Yeah.
Evie used to wear a suit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Old times the managers wore suits.
Evie would wear a suit, and wouldn't he sit on a chair during games?
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, think about that. Kirk in a suit sitting on a chair during a game.
Yeah.
But people were probably afraid to tell Evie to get off the chair, weren't they?
Probably. And there were fewer people on the sidelines, too, I suppose, that lended itself.
Fewer players.
Yeah.
Do you think Evie could have turned Iowa into a terrific football play if he'd stayed longer?
Well, he already had turned him into.
Yeah, I do.
We don't know how he would have handled two-platoon football, but I think he would have done fine.
The main reason why he left is because he wanted to be athletic director?
He wanted to be both, but then his daughter told us that he also had health issues that really were a factor. With colitis, right?
Uh-huh.
Made recruiting.
Colitis that can be bad.
Made being on the road really hard for him, and she said health was a factor too. Why he wanted to be more 9-to-5 type setup as an AD.
Yeah, if we'd had him as long as.
But then he also wanted to coach. He wanted to keep coaching, but there was a lot of coaching that he didn't want to do, it sounds like. Like, it didn't sound like he liked to go on the road recruiting, based on what she said.
Didn't he kind of step on some of the coaches that came in after him?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, he made it hard. Yeah, I don't know
he did.
He just seemed to have some petty grievances that he took out on Ray Nagel and Jerry Burns, and just seemed like since they wouldn't let him be both, it was like, be damned.
Yeah, and Jerry was his hand-picked successor.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember when I talked to Billema when he was back here for Bob Elliott's funeral. He mentioned that's one thing that bugged him. He was being stepped on all the time while he was out there being coach for Wisconsin.
Now, Jerry also, he was the one, wasn't he the head coach when Gale Sayers visited here and they just blew him off?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
You can't blame that on Evie.
No.
No.
But yeah, they made some calculated mistakes too.
Okay, guys, well, I must go off and I'll pray for all you poor people.
Please
do.
We'll see you.
And
Bye.
thank you for thinking of us. So, yeah. So I think a game like Purdue, you just got to turn the page and we got to rebound better.
Which is what I'm sure they've done. Fran's got a Zoom here in like a half an hour, which I'm missing because I'm here, but they always send me audio. And they will. You can say all you want about Fran. He, just like Kirk, it's whatever's next.
Yes.
Yeah, he was disappointed the other night, but I guarantee you when he got on that plane to go home, it was all Iowa State. That's just, you just have to. You have to be able to survive and move on. That's just what you do. It was a terrible game. And now, if they're not careful, they're going to have 2 losses in a row if they don't play well at Iowa State. And he knows that. So they've moved on, but that still doesn't guarantee a win. It's going to be tough. If they were playing here, I think they're going to win. Over there, I'm giving Iowa State a slight edge.
Yeah, and if Iowa State hasn't been shooting particularly well from outside, so if you see them start to heat up for a change, then that might.
Well, Iowa State's going to want to control the tempo just like Purdue did. Iowa had 24 points at halftime. And Purdue had wide open threes.
And Purdue had what, 45?
It was 45-24. Iowa they struggle with transition defense that lead to open threes for the opponent. And Iowa State's going to get some opportunities now if they make them. We'll see. Now they've had this early in the year. I don't read as much into shooting stats yet because it's still pretty early. And I assume at least 3 of their games have been on other courts for the holiday tournaments and stuff.
I imagine.
So my guess is they're going to shoot better at Hilton Coliseum than anywhere else this year. So we'll see. Watch them come out just red hot. But if they come out and make 8 threes and they're wide open on 5 of them, that's
on us.
That's one of my biggest faults with Fran's defense. At times it just seems like 3-point shooters don't get identified soon enough, and they're wide open.
Yep.
Purdue had wide open threes.
Couldn't agree more.
But we'll see. Like I said, I think it's going to be a fun game. I think the women will win. I think Iowa State's very young. Like what Fennelly say, Iowa was in the national championship a year ago. Our players were at prom or something like that. It was kind of funny. They're young.
That is funny.
They're young. This Audie Crooks, she's going to be a great player. I think she's from Algona.
She's a good-sized gal.
She's a good-sized girl, and she's very skilled, but she's still only a freshman. And I think Iowa's going to be able to overcome all the obstacles over there. And they do have a Jones girl playing. Actually, Susan Harmon's there's a story up on her in Your Prep Sports.
Oh,
I believe they posted it. I thought about posting it on Hawk Fanatic, but I have a feeling I'd get attacked by Iowa. Why are you?
Well, of course you would.
Why are you posting? So I just go on Your Prep Sports.
This isn't Cyclone Fanatic.
Yeah, I'd get a lot of that, and some of that's because of extenuating circumstances involving the Jones girl with nothing to do with her fault either, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So there's a lot of anima. So I decided, we'll just run that on Your Prep Sports. So I believe it was posted yesterday, and so there's and there is another one coming. There's a young one who somebody I know whose daughter's right about her age. I think she's probably in 7th or 8th grade. Said she's just another phenom. Imagine have 5 daughters and not have to pay tuition for any of them.
Be great.
Think about how much money.
We had to pay for. Both girls got some tuition.
But your kids went to expensive colleges. Drake and Knox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but for those schools to remain competitive.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's almost like they sat down and said, "Hey, let's see where we can go. That's the most expensive for mom and dad. Let's really hammer them."
And ironically, one was about an hour and a half one way, and the other one was an hour and a half the other way.
I've made the drive to both. Been to. So how far is Knox off the 74?
It's right there.
It is right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, because I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't ever think I've. Can you see the college campus from 74?
No.
Okay. But okay? So if you're going on 74, is it left or right? Is the campus to the left or is it to the right?
You exit to the right.
Exit to the right, but then do you take a left and go under the bridge?
You take a right and go into.
You keep going right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we're all the fast. Okay, I see. Okay.
They have a real good pizza place.
They got a good Chinese restaurant there too.
They do?
Yeah.
And a good KFC. We've been there many times. That's Galesburg's, it's an obvious stop for the amount of trips we take on 74.
And they had a place that had great burgers called Sidetracks, which was kind of a sports bar, which was neat.
On the way home from places like Indiana and stuff, Galesburg, though, is where the drive starts to get long because you're to Galesburg, but then you realize, I still got 50 miles till the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
And you say to yourself, I still got 100 miles to roam. That's when these drives start to get long as Galesburg.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Now, when Ann and I think we were going down to either we were driving down to Florida or I can't remember. But we stopped in Galesburg specifically at the Pizza House.
Yeah, we've never done that one. We don't like to go too far down the road though. So the KFC's right there. You got the Hy-Vee gas station, KFC, and I think there's a Taco Bell right there, but we don't seem to hit Taco Bell.
Molly's graduation, we were hungry afterwards, so we went
to the Chinese place.
Chinese place. It was really good.
Do you remember what it was called? Is it just on that strip there, right off there? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we've ever made it more than like a half a mile in because there's all those places right off the exit. We were coming home from the Miami of Ohio game in 2002, and I still remember we pulled off because we had to get gas. It was like 1:30 in the morning. We pulled off, and the cops were just manhandling this guy. And this guy was he was out of control, but we just kind of watched that. It kind of woke us up because we were getting tired. This guy was all drunk, and he was threatening. He kept telling the cops he was going to kick their ass as they're putting him in cuffs.
They love that.
Slamming him down to the ground. The cops say, "Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are." It was kind of funny.
That's unbelievable. But the Knox campus is real nice.
It's a beautiful campus.
Yeah, a building called Old Main where
Drake has an Old Main.
Lincoln Douglas debates.
Okay, Drake's campus is cool. When you're in the middle of the campus, it's cool too. And they do the main building is Old Main. Man, I haven't been on Drake's campus for a long time. I used to spend so much time there. Went there. My mom worked there for years. I remember with my dad, we'd go and pick my mom up from work at 4:30, and I'd always go in. She worked at Goodwin Kirk Dorm, and I'd always go in there and get her. And Drake has been a huge part of everybody in my family has an affiliation with Drake. Either went there, got married somebody from there, works there, and what have you.
We went to a graduation there, and I can't remember who, but
I don't think you guys were at Amy's, were you?
No.
Man, I wish Iowa played Drake this year in basketball. I think that would be a fun game.
Yeah.
Iowa at Drake at the Knapp Center, would you like? I think
I was there once and we lost.
I think Iowa would be in trouble. Drake's good.
I do too.
Tucker DeVries is maybe the best player in the Valley. That would be a tough game.
That'd be a dogfight.
Drake at Carver would be a good game. Yeah, I'd give Iowa a slight edge because they'd be at home. I'd probably give Drake a slight edge, just like I am with this Iowa State game. I don't think any of these. I think Drake is probably better for its circumstances than Iowa and Iowa State are right now, but I don't know if that means Drake's better than Iowa and Iowa State. But to me, Iowa and Iowa State are kind of similar. Still not sure what to make of either team. And it's early, and I don't know. I don't want to read too much into the loss at Purdue. They got.
Was that a surprise?
No, I thought they were going to lose. I didn't think they'd be down by 35 in the second half.
No,
that was not good.
Although that's not unprecedented.
No, but almost is because they were 1 point from breaking the program record. I think for biggest deficit, and it was not good. I didn't expect it to be that bad, and it snowballed. But it's one game, and I'm just not going to use that to just give up on this team. My expectations for this team anyway were probably 10-10, maybe 11-9. That would probably make the NCAA tournament. That's my best expectation for this team. Do I think I don't think it's going to go 4-16. Do I think there's a chance to go 8-12 and not make and be an NIT? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think there's a chance that could happen. And if they go 8-12 and make the NIT, I mean, the people, the fire Fran, no. I mean, there's nothing nowhere close to anything like that. They would have made the tournament 5 years in a row if COVID hadn't happened. That's pretty solid Iowa basketball.
It is.
Well, I know they haven't made a run or whatever, but there haven't been many. I mean, we're talking about a program that hasn't made many runs lately with multiple coaches.
No. And that's what we all hope for NCAA tournament success for the men's basketball team, but
getting in is a worthy accomplishment
it
too.
is.
But I'm not making excuses for the early exits. That's the next thing, and we'll see. But this team's got a lot more to worry about than seeing where it goes in the tournament. I mean, it's got to get there first. And the other thing is, this is the first year in quite some time that Iowa hasn't had that go-to. Exactly. Luka Garza for 2 years, Keegan Murray, then Chris Murray, 4 years in a row. They had that just, okay, get him the ball, we need a basket. They don't have that now. It could be Cricky some nights, could be even Owen Freeman some nights, could be Peyton Sanford some nights, but could be Patrick McCaffrey. But that's one thing I think they're adjusting to. And if it is Cricky, that's an adjustment because it's his first year on the team. It's going to be It's an adjustment if you bring a guy in who hasn't been with you at all, and all of a sudden he's going to be your go-to guy.
I think the biggest problem, and you kind of just danced around it there, is there's nobody is consistently putting the ball in the basket. I mean,
Cricky sort of is. I mean, the other night he had 16.
Yeah.
He's scoring. He's getting you 15 to 20 almost every night.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll give him, but no, Patrick McCaffrey needs to pick it up.
And Tony Perkins needs to be
way more consistent. Patrick
Peyton
McCaffrey,
Sanford.
Well, I just believe that's Sanford. I just think that's kind of how he plays. There's going to be nights where he can't hit the broadside, other nights where he can't miss. You'd like him to be more consistent. Patrick, to me, is the one that just every night needs to get them 11 to 15 a game, and that's not happening right now. Well, he's not. I mean, I don't know. He just seems like he's in a little funk right now. They need him. I think he's an important part of this team. He can score in a variety of ways. He's got a mid-range game. He can make threes. He needs to get back in the swing of things. And, of course, the point guard position right now. I'm not saying it's a mess, but DeSante Bowen did not play well the other night.
No.
Fran benched him early, didn't bring him back. Brock Harty was okay. His problem is he's awfully small. Defenses are going to take advantage of that. He did make a three, but so did DeSante Bowen. I'm not convinced either one are reliable three-point shooters, but DeSante Bowen's got to play better.
And DeSante's was real early.
Yeah, and then he was taken out right after. But DeSante, he drives to the basket in the second half, and he bounces the ball off his foot. And Fran had seen enough, took him out. I don't think he put him back in. DeSante, I don't think played much more than 10 minutes. So the point guard position is a concern. They don't want Tony Perkins having to play point guard 35 minutes a game. That takes away too much other stuff that he can do. They need to get Brock Harty and DeSante Bowen. I wish they could get it to where they both play roughly 20 and both play well. And even have times maybe where Brock and DeSante are in at the same time. Move Tony to small forward and have two big guys. DeSante needs to show that he can score, and he doesn't look like he's real confident offensively right now.
Do you like it when Freeman and Cricky are both in
there?
Yeah,
because I think Owen Freeman's got the most upside of anybody on the team.
Yeah.
I think he is a really good player, and no, I like it. That's 6'10", 6'9", but I would also like having you go with that. I like Owen Freeman, Patrick, and Cricky. Cricky, the power forward, Freeman, the center forward, Patrick, the small forward. That's 6'10", 6'9", 6'9". That's a long, talented starting lineup. And I'm not saying that Patrick McCaffrey's not playing well. I just think he can play better. I've seen it, and I just think they need him as a senior. He needs to seize this moment and just. Now, I will say his dad has not hesitated to take him out.
No.
I mean, all these people that say Fran will take his kid out just like he would anybody else if it's not working. I've never understood. Oh, he just favors his kid. Connor played a lot because he deserved to play a lot because he did a lot of little things that they needed. Patrick's played a lot because he's a good player. And same with Kirk Ferentz's sons. Brian Ferentz obviously was a multi-year starter who at least got invited to an NFL camp. He wasn't trash as an offensive lineman. James Ferentz was very good, and then Steven wasn't as good and didn't play.
Yeah,
I mean, there is nepotism, yes, but there is limits to nepotism. I mean, and the Ferentz, two of the three Ferentz boys were good enough for scholarships, and both the McCaffrey's kids were good enough for scholarships, and the younger one clearly is good enough for scholarships. So, I mean, I wouldn't. If my son was good enough to play, I would want him to play for me.
So do you think Jack is a 0% chance here, or
no.
do you think it's still alive?
No, I know it's been reported, but no, I think there was a lot of stuff going on then, obviously. No, I think if Fran sticks around, but is Fran going to be here for another 6 years?
It's a good question.
I mean, Jack's a junior.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Fran's going to be here another 6 years, 5 or 6 years. That's just me. It's not like he's told me that, and if he is, fine. I mean, but that's just my gut feeling. I don't think Kirk's going to be here another 5 years. You will be, though. You'll be here.
No, I might not make it through the end of this show.
Nope, you're like the snowman in Burl Life Snowman in Rudolph. It's the first thing you see. You're the first thing people hear. Do you like that snowman character in Rudolph?
Yeah,
Burl Ives.
All right.
You a Burl Ives fan?
Not.
You don't like Burl Ives?
I liked him when I was a kid.
Did you ever have him on your show?
No.
He was the face of Christmas.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Burl Ives.
Have him on my progressive rock show.
Well, I mean, you had the Minnesota baseball coach on.
Well, that was me. This place. And how long's Burl Ives been dead?
I don't know. Look it up. You think he's been? Didn't he live pretty long? I bet he died in the 80s. Would be my guess. Although the 80s was 40 years ago.
Norman Lear died.
Yeah, I would say the 80s is probably
Wasn't
true.
it Silver and Gold? Was that his song? He's Menendez.
Charlie.
He's Bob Menendez. Silver and Gold.
Let's see.
I just ripped a Democrat.
You did.
Yeah, well, he should get the hell out of
He should.
Too.
How about Santos? You saw what I read to you. Did you like that?
Yeah, I mean.
Can I say that on the air?
Sure.
He's opposing gay marriage, ripping gay marriage on the same day that he and his husband are celebrating their 2-year anniversary. Someone tweeted that. I just find that funny.
Santos Claus.
He died, Burl Ives, in 95.
Oh,
so he died earlier than
How old was he?
85.
So he's born in 1910. Wow.
1909.
1909.
Well,
so he'd be how old if he was still alive? 100 and...
But he'd be feeling poorly.
Yeah. I know.
Or touring with the Stones.
I get such a kick out of Rolling Stones presented by AARP. I just get such a freaking kick out of that.
But, and they show, like, the medicine bottles, like the barbiturates. This is just stuff to stay alive. Syringe, it's stuff that he needs to take. It's not heroin. It's just what he needs to. That is kind of funny.
We got a call?
Yes, we do.
We made him wait through that.
Hello.
Good morning, fellas. I don't mind waiting.
Hey, Terry, what's up?
Hey, do you guys have any surprises of the Hawkeye football players that have gone into the portal?
None of them have surprised me. No.
I wouldn't say so.
Now, the Ontario Thompson one,
maybe a little bit.
He had, he had a couple highlight moments, but he was backup. He was not going to play. But no, Labus, I was just waiting for that. That was a no-brainer. And that Brendan Des Fernandez, he's buried on the depth chart. They're looking for playing time.
And then Filer was a walk-on, wasn't he?
Oh, the kid, yeah, he's a walk-on, yeah. I hadn't even heard of that.
Kid, the Vine kid?
The Deontay Vines, well, that one surprised me, I guess, a little bit, but he's from Connecticut, and he basically fell behind Caleb Brown. And but, yeah, none of them, I guess that one maybe a little. But, yeah, walk-ons come and go all the time. The Filer kid, he went to Dowling, and he was here for one semester. Was he here for one semester? Didn't he play junior college ball?
I think you're right.
That's the one I had heard that one.
He did.
But there's four, as of now, there's 4 scholarship players that have left. Yeah. So, yeah, no, none of them really surprised me. Labus, I was wondering, what took till Tuesday? You knew he was gone.
How has this transfer portal and the NIL, how's that changed the coaches' either planning or philosophy, however you want to call it, on do we go after portal kids to fill our needs, or do we still go the traditional high school route to get our needs?
Well, you try to balance it, but it's hurting high school kids because more people are going for portal kids, and that's a scholarship that could have gone to a high school kid. So, but no, I mean, you got to do both, but some schools are relying way more on the portal than other schools. Kirk's using the portal to bits and pieces. I mean, he did go out and get McNamara and all, but for the most part, some of these schools go out and land 10, 15 people through the portal. They completely overhaul. I don't think Kirk will ever do that.
Well, and
isn't that what Deion Sanders did?
Prime,
well, he gutted the whole gutted the whole roster.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And now he's trying to recruit 4 and 5 stars, and he has, but he's also lost a few commitments lately. He's had some decommitments. So yeah, but none of the guys in the portal now were a surprise to me.
Well, what's McCord from Ohio State? That's shocking.
Yeah, but,
he was probably asked.
I'm guessing that I don't know for sure, but there just was something that's. He lost to Michigan. He never really was that good this year, and I think he just saw they were going to recruit over him.
Wow.
And now they're trying to
fellas, have a great hump day. Keep up the good work.
Okay, hump day.
Well, it's a different level of expectation at Ohio State. Completely different.
Yeah, and McCord is one of their weaker quarterbacks they've had in a while. They're used to having 5-star phenoms who can run and jump, and he's just not that. But he'll land at a different Power 5 school.
You know he will.
I mean, Iowa fans would love it if. Now, the one thing with Iowa, because people have asked me, is Kirk going to go for a quarterback in the portal? No. When McNamara announced that he was coming back, that's
quarterback.
That's your quarterback. They're putting all their eggs in his basket, and like I've said before, there's a risk involved with that. It's risky.
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey.
I'll just ask a question and I'll hang up. Leave it to you. Are we in danger? Are you thinking of losing our defensive coordinator on the football team after his act?
Nothing that I've heard of that would suggest that. Nothing. I would never say never. You just never know. But I mean, now if Kirk would decide to retire,
I think Phil
would either move on or wait to see what they hire. Maybe Phil would even get the job here. I don't know. But I have not heard anything of substance saying, yeah, Phil's. I mean, like what's his name said on the broadcast the other day. Man, if I was USC, I would go out and throw the Brinks truck at Phil Parker. Mm-hmm. Was that Joel Klatt said that during the game?
Yes.
I mean, I know Iowa fans said, why would he say that? Why? I mean, just because somebody said, I think people. I like it when people. Oh my God, why would you tweet that? Now they're. I mean, things happen despite what people say and what people tweet. Yeah. I mean, people on social media and whatever think that they're way more impactful than they really are.
Well,
life goes on.
Words on there and then, oh my God, I am.
So you're like USC's watching that Iowa game and Joe Klatt says that, and then a light goes on in their head. Gee, let's do that. I mean, that's not how it works.
No,
I don't. And no, Phil Parker's he's making 1.3 now. My guess is that's going to go up to between 1.5 and 2. I mean, to match that out in L.A., what would he have to make? Almost 3? It's twice as much
at least.
And I don't know if USC would pay him between $3 and $4 million. How far would he live from campus? I mean, there's so many things involved. Now, do I think other schools would be wise to at least court him, see if he's interested? Sure, that's business.
Yeah.
I hope he stays here, but a lot of Phil's going to depend on Kirk.
Yeah. So, no, I think he'll stay, but I have nothing to base that on other than history.
Well, you think Kirk's staying, too. And
yes.
Like I said, I'm 50-50 on Kirk right now. And I went from 70-30 to 60-40. Now I'm 50-50. But I could see that 50. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this next month goes. And I see Kirk being the kind of guy that if he is going to step down, I think it'll be set. I think all of a sudden, hey, man, there's an announcement coming up. I don't think it's going to be one of these things that's played out. And I don't know if he would maybe he would give it to somebody. My guess is he would announce it at the same time. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm open to anything that could happen right now because this is a really strange circumstance. I mean, I assume Brian's going to coach in the bowl game, but who knows? I mean, the bowl game's still almost a month away.
Yeah, it is.
Hello.
So what do you guys think the odds of Cooper coming back are?
90-10 gone.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's going to be a first-round pick, it looks like, from all the mocks I've seen and from what I've heard. You'd have to go if you're going to be guaranteed for. Selfishly, I'd love him to stay. I mean, I'd love him to stay and use his COVID year, and but I just realistically, I think he's gone, and I don't think that injury helps either. I think it helps him leave because what if I do this in the second game of next year or whatever? I think at least if he gets injured in the NFL, he's getting paid lots of money.
Yep.
And I know the NIL is strong here, but I don't think the NIL is going to be able to come up with $3 or $4 million to keep. And my guess is Cooper wouldn't want them to have to do that either. I just think he's ready for the next challenge, just like I think Caitlin will be after this year. Hope I'm wrong in both cases.
How lucky are we, though?
I mean, getting to watch both of those players,
Sure.
getting to watch Caitlin, getting to watch Coop.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been so blessed in sports, over the last few years, basketball, football. I mean, people just, I don't know if they take it for granted, but you get tired of hearing all the criticism of the coaches, and, it gets old after a while.
No, if you think about it, since 2017-18, you think about, Spencer Lee, Caitlin Clark. There's
Megan
been
Gustafson.
Megan Gustafson. There's been incredible stories. Davion Nixon came out of nowhere and becomes a first-team All-American in football. Tristan Wirfs becomes one of the best offensive linemen. Yeah, no, there's been a lot. Luca Garza, Player of the Year. The Murray twins, which to me, the Murray twins is probably the greatest story of all of them because it involves two people. Neither one were recruited. Caitlin Clark was a five. I'm not minimizing, but she was a five-star phenom coming out of high school. She's actually lived up to her expectations and then some. The Murray twins, to me, is the most incredible story of all of it.
Well, I think you guys are right, too. I honestly think the basketball team's going to improve as the season goes on, and I think we will be 500 in the Big Ten because I see them getting better as the season goes on with Fran teaching them, getting them, to play a little better as a team. I think we're going to have a good season. I don't know, I'm not looking forward to the tournament if they get there because I don't know how deep a run this team can make, but they're still fun to watch. And, you got to take Purdue that, you had Edie, the player of the year, you go up against him and, you kind of expect what you ended up getting. So
yeah, no, I didn't think they'd get beat as bad as they did, but I thought that they would lose by at least 8 to 12 points. I'm with you, though. They've had games like this before. France teams do get better, and they are at a level now where they're consistently making the NCAA tournament, and I do think 10-10 would get them in the tournament. They'd probably be an 8 or a 9 seed and probably have an early exit. But I've said before, if you make the NCAA tournament at Iowa, that's a worthy accomplishment. I know some will say that that's just settling, fine, whatever. But I'm just basing it on what Iowa's tradition has been.
So one more thing for you, Pat. Do you ever listen to Annie Agar? Do you know who she is?
I do not know who she is.
Okay,
wait, I think I've seen her on Twitter. Is she hot?
Yeah.
Okay.
She does this recap every week of the NFL, and she always has these snide little remarks to make. Well, in her last one for last weekend, she had the greatest line. She goes, Washington Commanders, your defense is so bad, even the Iowa Hawkeyes could score on you.
Wow.
I cracked up when I heard that.
That's harsh.
Yeah, that's harsh, but hey, what's the saying? No publicity's bad, or
no, that's bad publicity.
Bad publicity still good publicity, or whatever.
Well,
I don't know. No, that's
I don't
funny.
know about that.
She's a blonde, isn't she?
Yeah, really hot blonde.
Really, look her up, Captain. Annie Agar.
Because she's amazing.
I think
Annie
I've seen
Agar.
her. I think I've seen her profile pop up on my Twitter, and I'm like, oh wow, she's attractive, and I don't think I even really looked at what she does. Now I will, though. Okay.
Well, just a warning. She's a Green Bay Packer fan. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. Well, thanks for the heads up on that. They're playing better.
So she's insulted the Hawkeyes, and she's a Packer fan.
I'll tell you what, though, the Packers are playing a lot better now, and their quarterback's starting to play well.
She's a dazzler.
Kind of really cheesed off the Bear fans because here we go, our third quarterback in a row that's been, and I'm, an Aaron Rodgers or a Brett Favre, but man, he's looking a lot better.
Oh, he's looking really good. He's looking really good, and so she. Captain just called her up.
So is she.
Well, not called her up. He just got her profile photo up. Are you calling her now?
I'm calling. Yeah.
He's calling her. We're going to try to get her on the show.
Our sports guy is single.
We should try to get her on the show.
We'll try to get her on the show.
Okay, I'll reach out to her.
Well, you guys have a
All right,
great
thanks,
day.
you
Go
too.
Hawks.
Hey, thanks for the call.
She starts dating Lang. She's part of the Hey Lang thing. She gets. Would you give her song of the week?
Member of the Burl Ives fan club.
Would you let her do a song of the week? Would you let her read off like the NFL menus? Okay, for today, the Arizona Cardinals are having
a trading table.
Yeah, there you go. But
Annie Agar, never heard of her.
I thought he was going to say, "Have you ever heard of Annie Oakley?"
And the answer is yes.
Yes, I don't remember what I remember. Didn't we study her in school?
What did Annie Oakley? What is sharpshooter?
That's what I thought. Annie,
yeah.
Okay.
And she was in
was she
a character?
Buffalo Bills Wild West.
Is she for real or was she a?
Oh yeah,
she's for real.
She's for real. Okay.
And she was very attractive too.
Annie, look her up, Captain.
Yeah. Oh, I listen.
Oh, there's pictures of her.
She was played on TV by Gail Davis.
Oh, I remember Gail Davis. She was in the Andy Griffith Show. She did an episode of the Andy Griffith Show. She was a skeet shooter. She beat Andy in the skeet shooting contest.
How about that?
I think she had a problem.
Gail Davis did?
I think. Oh, by the way, when you're talking about, what do you think the average rent for a 4-bedroom apartment is? In Los Angeles?
Bedroom?
Yes.
Is in Los Angeles?
Yes.
8,000.
I was going to say between 8 and 12.
Yeah, 13.9.
Well, my niece lived in a house in San Francisco when she first started off as a doctor out there. And if I remember correctly, there was like 6 different people that lived in it, and they each paid, I think, $4,000. So they were getting $24,000 a month from this house in San Francisco.
Well, she wasn't that good looking.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I never saw that either.
Well, for the time.
She's no Annie Agar.
For the time, she...
Let me see. All right, let me just a second. Yeah, you know. I mean,
okay.
She's no Annie Agar, though, right?
No.
So if we could
but
get
Annie Agar is probably not as good of a shot.
Well,
either.
that's true. And she's a Packer fan.
Yeah, so that's...
And taking shots at your Hawkeyes.
Yeah, major minus.
We can take shots at the Hawkeyes, but nobody else can, right?
Yeah, F you, Agar.
Isn't that the rule, though? If there's going to be any making fun of the Hawkeyes, it's by Hawkeye fans,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
That is funny, though, how the Iowa offense...
Here's the TV, Annie Oakley.
That's Gail.
Yeah.
Her hair... Put that back up.
Oh, okay.
Because her hair on Andy Griffith was blonde. Yeah, that was her. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, the women's game's on ESPN2 tonight, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And the men is on...
ESPN-U.
Okay. Dallas will be heading over there. And, I mean, did I hear it's going to be almost 60 tomorrow?
58.
Yeah.
Will you turn your air on?
What?
Will you turn your air on at home if it gets too warm?
Yeah, I'll turn it. Yes. Well, first of all, we're on a budget anyway.
I am too.
But I mean, yeah,
you get the same amount taken out of your account.
I don't understand people that, I remember times when it got to be like 70-something in November, and people are going, well, I'm not turning my air on.
If I'm hot, I turn my air on.
Yeah.
I don't care what.
If I'm cold,
I was sort of joking. It's probably not going to get... But no, if it's hot, and my budget billing, it went up to $125 about a year ago, 2 years ago, and I think some of that was COVID. But now it's down to $95 a month.
I'm not going to suffer. I don't.
No.
Life's
I
too
want to be
short.
warm or cold, whatever.
Now, I do
cool.
better. I mean, I have my house right now, I think it's 65. That's probably colder.
That's too cold.
That's colder than what you guys put it at. But I just... You
might be better insulated.
I'm not cold, and it's not like I go around in a Speedo.
Well,
I mean, in the winter, I'm
You don't?
You don't? We've heard rumors.
No, just in the summer. But no, I wear enough clothes to where I'm never cold, and I also, if I put my house at 68, 69, the freaking heat runs all the time. I just don't. I don't need that.
Well, then you're well insulated. We got to keep our heat at like very.
No, my house is pretty well
72,
insulated.
and I don't like it too hot.
Oh God, if mine was at 72, it'd be a freaking sauna. I mean, it would just.
And I don't like. I would rather have it cool.
I'd rather have it cool than too hot. Oh, I crank my air. I mean, I like my air. Like in June and July, my air runs nonstop. And,
yeah.
I mean, why have air conditioning if you're not going to use it?
I want to be comfortable.
Yeah. And I'd much rather be cool. I can handle the cold.
I love these people that just take pride in suffering.
I don't,
well, I'm not one of them.
People that don't have air conditioning and they don't have TV, I am not going to waste my time watching TV.
Fine,
then don't.
Yeah. Just shut up about it.
Yeah. I mean, I tease you about watching TV, but I watch a lot of. I mean, if you don't want to watch TV, that's fine. But I also find that a little odd.
It just means they can't afford it.
Well, that's true.
Well,
tell you what, I don't. There's times where I wonder if I can.
Some of them are, take it as a badge of honor.
I don't like writing that $246 check
to
freaking Mid America but it is what it is.
No, but they're people that can't afford it, but they're better than everybody else.
Yeah,
and in their brain.
Yeah.
I only watch network TV.
Well, I like network. No, they don't.
I hardly ever watch network TV.
I watch network TV, and I'm proud of it.
I hardly ever.
I am supporting. Look at all the people I'm supporting by watching their shows.
I can't say never because
I'm not saying
if
never.
There's a sporting event that I want to see that's on a network, of course I'll
and there's times where I watch them.
I don't know. I think it's my TV. The games, the announcers, I don't know. It seems like it's on Fox. I can't understand them over the crowd. And I know the TV's got a surround sound thing, and I got to figure out how to use it. But the crowds are so loud.
That's
on
not
my
your
TV.
Hearing aids?
No, I can hear the crowd.
Yeah.
No, I guess I've never noticed that.
No. I get new hearing aids December 26th.
Maybe that'll change things for you.
I don't know.
What time is it?
Time for us to take a break.
10:10.
Yeah.
It's time.
We will examine the life of Burl Ives.
Well, we have an auction Friday, right?
Yeah.
Because I got to reach out to Haluska. Adam was going to come on, and I got to. I'll tell him that we'll try to get him on maybe next Monday or two. Because we're not having Don on Monday, right? We're taking a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back.
Ho, ho, ho. It's a holiday tradition. KCJJ's Santa Store, a KCJJ radio auction, goods, merchandise, services, and lots of delicious food. And it all goes on the block with big savings this Friday morning, beginning at 6. And remember, KCJJ auction certificates make great stocking stuffers. Check out a list of items at the KCJJ app or at 1630 kcjj.com.
1-800-800-ROSE.
1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country.
1-800-800-ROSE.
It's so easy. Just remember one number, 1-800-800-ROSE, your FTD florist.
1-800-800-ROSE.
Remember,
for a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Hi, this is Jill Sterner with Sterner Taxidermy in Lone Tree. It's hunting season again, and I'm inviting all of you hunters to follow us on our Facebook page. You can view Dirk's award-winning artistry, his workmanship that he completes with each individual piece. We can be reached at 319-330-1774. Again, 319-330-1774.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
Once upon a time in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
It's that wonderful holiday time of the year. Moments of eating too much, spending time with family, in some cases maybe trying to avoid family. However you choose to celebrate, the Diamond Dental team of Dr. Forbes, Kate, Michelle, Michaela, and Kim would like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday. Here's hoping you enjoy every minute of this joyous time of the year. Rest assured, Diamond Dental is here, providing superior care for your entire family during the holiday season and all year long.
The Sanctuary Pub in downtown Iowa City has been a fixture since 1972 and still features a classic menu such as the classic shepherd's pie, handcrafted pizzas, and craft beers and cocktails. The Sanctuary Pub is known for its warm and cozy atmosphere. That's the perfect place to spend time with family and friends while enjoying live music. Support great local food with socially distanced dine-in, carry-out, and delivery through Chomp Delivery. The Sanctuary Pub is located at 405 South Gilbert Street. Full menu options are online at sanctuarypub.com. Come experience the Sanctuary Pub. You won't ever want to leave.
Car won't steer? Call Premier. Premier Automotive in North Liberty offers full-service mechanical auto repair work in addition to being Eastern Iowa's most trusted name in auto body repair. Use Premier for all your auto repair needs. Brakes, oil changes, air conditioning, diagnostics, transmissions, or preventive maintenance. Whether you hit a deer or your car won't steer, see Premier Automotive in North Liberty.
From your friends at the Midtown Family Restaurants comes a sincere holiday wish. May happiness brighten your holidays and remain with you throughout the new year. Warmest season's greetings from the Midtown Family Restaurant.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit suples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Been waiting all year long for year-end savings? The wait is over. This is Patrick Eads, owner of Geary Ford in Iowa City. Get a new 2023 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT up to $6,500 off MSRP plus 1.9% financing. Get a new 2023 Ford Escape up to $3,000 off MSRP plus 0.9 financing. Get a new 2024 Ford Edge up to $4,000 off MSRP plus 0% financing. Hurry in or shop online at GaryFord.com.
Earning $100 in free play at Wild Rose Casino and Hotel is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Sign up to be a part of Club Wild, and you could earn up to $50 in free play on your first visit. But it doesn't stop there. You could earn an additional $25 in free play when you come back a second and third time. When we say you'd rather be here, we mean it. Join Club Wild today, and you could earn up to $100 in free play. See Club Wild for details. Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know needs gambling treatment, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Okay already. We heard you and we listened. The Oxyokin's famous Sunday brunch buffet is back. For over 40 years, we've served brunch, offering so many choices of fresh entrees, homemade salads, waffles, pastries, 3 tiers of desserts, and much more. Such a great value. Served 9 until 1. Also, lunch, dinner, banquets, and carry-out daily. You can order curbside carryout online at oxyokin.com and take the comforting taste of the Oxyokin home to your family's table. Visit oxyokin.com for hours, menus, reservations, weekly specials, and gift cards. From our Oxyokin family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon at the Oxyokin in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyokin.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Partly cloudy and a bit warmer today. We'll get to around 44 for a high this afternoon. The wind will be out of the south at about 10 to 20. Tonight, clear 32. Tomorrow, sunshine. 58 for a high tomorrow. Friday looking about the same, partly cloudy, high of 58. Then a front's going to blast through. Saturday's going to be one of those days with some rain changing to some light snow. Temperatures falling through the day into the 30s by late afternoon. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now it's 31.
KCJJ weather brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Sirens going off for just a test. So Johnson County testing the sirens today.
Sounds like they work.
Yeah. So.
Okay, good.
We are back.
We are back and better than ever, Steve.
Well.
No.
So Burl Ives, was he a nice guy? What was he accused of? He was accused and blacklisted with supposed communist ties.
Wow.
Yeah.
Socialist.
But then he cooperated with the House Un-American Activities Committee and agreed to testify, fearful of losing his source of income. So he caved.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
So he's a weak commie.
Yeah.
Silver and gold. Remember that song?
No.
From Rudolph. Silver and gold. Come on, guys. Hunter, you remember
How in the
you?
hell? Okay, can I ask you a question?
And this is valid.
You're going to knock Rudolph now,
This
right?
is valid.
I'm not knocking Rudolph.
Valid
How
question.
in the hell did you remember that Gail Davis was a guest star in Andy Griffith?
Because it's one of the episodes that I've watched 100 times. It was just on the other day. She beats him at skeet shooting. He gets a little cocky after they have a date, and she decides, what the hell, I'm not going to tell him I'm a skeet shooter. She beat him at his own game. Gail Davis. I think it came out in either 61 or 62. Tweet it, or look it up. Gail Davis, Andy Griffith.
I'm looking it up now to see. She died in 97 at 71.
So do your math with that one. So that means she was born in what year?
26.
25. October 5th, 25.
But yeah, she did one
Died
episode
of
of Andy
cancer.
Griffith. She was Thelma Lou's cousin. That was the connection. And Barney and Thelma Lou set him up on a date.
And I guess it didn't go quite as well as...
No, the date went well, but then I guess Barney, of course, screwed everything up like he always does. He exaggerated how, like, she had met Andy's expectations. She had passed the test the way Barney presented. Gail Davis took offense to that and decided to play a trick on Andy by beating him as a skeet shooter. She made 25 out of 25, and Andy missed 2.
She was in the films Law of the Golden West, Flying Leathernecks, and Alias Jesse James.
A lot of Westerns.
She appeared in The Lone Ranger, The Gene Autry Show, and Maverick, and appeared on The Andy Griffith Show, episode 37 in 1961.
Okay.
A lot of Westerns, yeah.
There you go. We were talking during the break. Phil Parker. Congratulations. Winning.
Yeah.
In a way, this was probably a Lifetime Achievement Award, but whatever. No matter how. I mean, this, to me, was one of his best performances this season. And ironically, I've got weird Michigan fans attacking me. And one of the arguments they were using is, you got beat 26-0. You scored 0 points. And I'm like, what does that have to do with the Iowa defensive coordinator?
Nothing.
And then I come back to them, 213 total yards, 3 of 15 on third downs. Their 2 scoring drives went for 5 and 6 yards. Iowa's defense didn't dominate Michigan's offense, but came pretty darn close. That 26-0 score is so misleading to me. And what I wrote was, if I'm part of the committee that votes on that, I watched that game to say, okay, we're down to Phil and Sharon for this award. And Phil Parker had a much better day. Even though Michigan won easily, Michigan's by far the better team. But that doesn't mean that Phil Parker couldn't have had a better game than the Michigan offensive coordinator, as he did. I was not impressed with Michigan's offense
at all.
They couldn't run. They couldn't throw. They couldn't convert third downs. They benefited from Iowa's offense being horrendous, turning the ball over, and they benefited from a long 87-yard punt return. So to me, Phil Parker, that may have been the best performance of the Iowa defense all year, the Michigan game.
Yeah, I
Probably
agree.
my pick, if you consider how good they are. So these Michigan people that were arguing, they're just weirdos. And one of them, it was funny, I looked at this thing, American Patriot, and it's his whole Twitter profile is just Trump
That
worship
guy,
stuff.
well, that guy was on our page. I had to bounce the guy off our page.
And I just look, I'm like, dude, I don't want to argue. Why did I even engage with you? And I blocked him.
He
he's from Michigan.
Yeah, and he started with the story, and how they should have got, his guy.
Had Sharon Moore won it, I would have, that's fine. I wouldn't have been like, oh my God.
No, this guy was vehement and started attacking, our other common people, and then started going down our stories, and You're just a bunch of libtards. He had like 20, very seriously, around 19, 20, just went down every freaking story, even if it had, like local stories that have nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with, politics.
But I mean, people like that who go on there, who build their Twitter platforms based just on politics, whatever. I don't have any time or interest. He had Trump photos everywhere. I mean, I just find that creepy and odd that you worship somebody like that. I mean, it's just bizarre, but there's so many of those people out there. They just, to worship a freaking politician?
I don't get it.
God, I don't get it.
No.
To worship anybody besides maybe your mom or dad, I don't get it. And I didn't worship my dad. My dad would be like, "What, worship me? Just obey me, you little dick." That's what my dad would be like. My dad always taught me don't worship. You don't worship other people. You try to earn their respect, or it's just weird how we've gotten into the stage now where people.
There was a guy on CNN this morning that who's religious and whose father was a pastor, and he explained it like this, because he wrote a book on it. He said, these people forget all about religion, and it becomes a moral good versus evil in their brain.
Oh, yeah, and it becomes tribalism.
Yeah, and they don't...
It becomes a competition almost.
Yeah, and they don't care about whether the guy's decent or...
But there's people, I see people, oh, my God, Taylor Swift should run for president. Why? Because she's good at singing.
Okay.
I mean, it's like people are looking for this savior to cling to. I mean, why should Taylor Swift run for freaking president?
She'll win.
I don't.
Well, she got.
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know about that.
If we're electing personalities, but which we shouldn't.
Which we should not.
No, she got Times Person of the Year,
which is fine.
Because her. She performs in all these countries, and
she's gotten people to vote.
Yeah, I mean,
she didn't tell them who to vote for,
no,
or whatever. I'm assuming she's probably more left than right.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But I mean, I don't want Taylor Swift to. But I just saw this thread about
Gail Davis or Taylor Swift, and they wanted.
I'd want Gail Davis as president because she could, protect herself with a gun.
She could shoot back.
Yeah, shoot back. But
we've got a caller.
Yeah.
Just this cult of personality stuff is just ridiculous.
Oh, she's shooting back like Senator Manette does or something.
No, he'd be using those gold blocks to block the.
Hello.
He'd be throwing his gold at the. Isn't he the one that stores gold at home?
Yeah.
Hello.
Taylor can sway the vote, which is good.
Yes.
When they go to the replay booth after a play, who's making the decision? The guys up above or the guy looking in the camera down below?
Well, I think it's a group effort, but the guy ultimately up above has the final say on it. That's why he's there, the replay official.
What I don't understand is when I'm watching it at home, like everybody else, by the time they get all grouped together, if you're watching at home, the replays, you know what the call should be. Why doesn't the booth up above just send, hey, this is what it is?
Because a lot of times it takes longer than they're doing more than just judging the call.
Yes.
They're looking at the clock. There's a lot of other things they're looking at to get everything set to where it needs to be. It's not just the actual physical play that happened. There's more to it.
Okay.
That takes time. Lots of times it is deciding where the clock is that makes it take longer.
They are getting it wrong in college and pro this last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, even the
okay, they are, but for the most time, they get it right. I mean, for the most part, they largely get it right.
And I do love it. I just.
So are you talking about the thing with Deacon Hill? Is that one of them? Because Michigan fans will say they got it right. A lot of it depends on who your loyalties lie to, too.
Well, I can agree the one call was a fumble, but it was called dead. I mean.
Well, yeah, that was, they screwed up the procedure in that one, and that. It was just whether Deacon Hill fumbled or not. We can argue about that. I didn't think he did. I thought it was a forward pass. Maybe I'm biased,
I do too,
but the part that you can't argue, even if you're a Michigan fan, is they screwed up the time. The handling of that play. They blew the whistle dead. And again, that Michigan D-back wasn't recovering a fumble. He was picking up a football and handing it to the official, and yet they counted that as the fumble recovery. They screwed that up. But I don't think there's anything replay could have done other than say just do the play over again. Maybe they've done that? But then if you're a Michigan fan, then you're going to say we got screwed.
Yeah.
So if he wouldn't have picked it up, it was an Iowa player that touched it last.
Well, an Iowa player could have picked it up, and I guess would they have given Iowa?
I know.
I guess.
I guess they would have given Iowa the ball. But the Iowa players thought the play was dead. So did the Michigan player. It's just that the ball was right next to him, so he just decided to bend over and pick it up. It's not like he went seeking that ball. I mean,
there should be something powerful after when a whistle's blown. That should really overrule every.
Yeah, no, they screwed that one up.
I agree with you.
No, they screwed that one up. Now, again, that's not going to impact the outcome of the game, but they didn't handle that well at all.
The only time you should call something after a whistle is blown is if there's a fight. I agree with that. But during the play, that thing, but in pro, there was a lot of bad recalls. I mean, it's I just can't believe you can't get it right.
Well, I know the Green Bay game I watched the other night, I missed one of the most blatant pass interference penalties that was it wasn't called I'm not a Green Bay fan, but their receiver just got tackled and they didn't call it. The ref was right there.
It was at such an important time.
It was an obvious pass interference call.
Yes, and it was against Taylor's lover, wasn't it?
No, I'm talking about. No, this was Green Bay. A Green Bay receiver was the one I believe got. I think it was. I can't remember which game. Maybe.
Yeah, it was. It was the Chiefs.
It wasn't Travis Kelce. The play I'm talking about was not Travis Kelce.
Okay, but I do like it. I guess I can complain about it a little bit. So.
All right.
Hey, she's going to sway the vote, man.
Okay.
So.
Better than running for president.
Sure hope so.
Yeah.
Yep. Good day.
Yep.
Taylor's lover.
Taylor, she runs. Who would her vice president be?
Huh?
Katy Perry.
Yeah, Mindy Perry.
Miley Cyrus.
Mindy Perry.
You imagine Taylor Swift and who would you want as her running mate? Should she get another woman or should she get a man?
I'd say she'd...
Robert De Niro.
De Niro,
just old and just combative.
Well, if we're going there, how about just Travis Kelce then?
There you go. They just start making
the first
out
couple.
I don't understand crap like that.
Why it's popular?
Yeah, because they're single. There's no big.
Nobody's saying it's a stand.
No, I mean I don't understand the attention.
I just don't know why people care who Travis Kelce or Taylor Swift dates.
I can understand that. Okay, they're a fan, and that's nice and everything. But it's just so overblown.
Oh, I agree. I mean, now she's not going to the Chiefs games because she's out performing, right? But when she's at the games and they show her after every play,
I know.
It's
even she came out and said this is a little much.
It's just weird,
So do they ever show her eating, garlic cheese fries?
They showed her eating a hot dog, and it was well, anyway,
drinking a beer,
chugging.
She's up there shooting beers and smashing them on her forehead. I'd like to see that, but when I see her like hugging Travis's mom after he makes a catch, I don't need to see. I don't care.
No, and it's.
But that's the world we live in. Remember when the Register wrote a story on when they thought Caitlyn and Connor were starting to date. Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, what was that about? Why would you write about that?
Yeah, you got two. It's like news is supposed to be unusual. It's not really unusual for two people to date.
Two college kids to be dating.
One was on the women's team, the other was on the men's team. They've been around each other for years. They happen. I mean, I think Caitlin Clark is great, one of the greatest ever. She's one of the most. She may end up being the most popular athlete to ever come from the state. I couldn't care less who she dates.
No.
I mean, that doesn't make me any less of a fan?
No.
I couldn't care less what she does in her private life. That's her business.
As long as I want her to be happy, that's it.
Yeah, I want her to be happy. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
that goes beyond without say. I wouldn't want her to be sad. I mean, but yeah, I was surprised. Now I will say, did you see the comments underneath that Register story when they wrote it? Man, fans were pissed. I mean, that was their.
Why would the fans be pissed?
They just thought it was leave them alone, ignore them. This isn't news.
Well, I agree.
They were
with
mad
that.
about that. Now I get that. Now I don't know if I wasn't pissed when I saw the article. I'm like, are you serious? You're writing about this?
They were pissed. What was the article that was in the Hawk Central and Press Citizen and everything?
That's what I'm talking about.
No, where they we just talked about it the other day. Where they, goddamn, where they asked the question in the headline
and then didn't answer it?
They never answered it.
Oh, that one. You brought that up. I don't remember what that one was, but
people were coming, just going haywire over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to, like I said, these Michigan fans attacking me because they thought that their guy deserved to be the coordinator of the year, which is fine, whatever, but some of the logic they were using was just, the fact that they kept using the fact that Iowa was held scoreless as a reason that Phil Parker didn't deserve, that just doesn't make any sense.
No, and he just didn't win it for that one game.
No, but that one game may have been the defense's best effort of the year.
Yeah.
And they still lost 26-0. But there were extenuating circumstances that explained that. That score was so misleading when it suggests that the Iowa defense struggled. The Iowa defense never struggled in that game.
No.
Never. Unlike the Penn State game, Penn State had 2 long scoring drives in that third quarter. They won that game convincingly, and the Iowa defense wasn't very good.
No,
that
it
was
wasn't.
the one time. Michigan never sustained anything.
Penn State came out and won that game in the
third
first
quarter.
drive.
In the first drive of the third quarter, drove like 80 yards, just 6 yards here, 7 yards there, 8 yards there. Michigan never did that. Blake Corum never came close to getting any consistent flow going in the running game. Never.
Nope.
And that's a credit to the Iowa defense, and I think Phil Parker, if you're ever going to give him, if it's a Lifetime Achievement Award, give it to him when a year like this. And I don't think people that don't watch Iowa on a regular basis realize how much pressure and weight is on this defense to make up for the offense.
Yeah.
Every week the defense goes into games saying we have to play our asses off or we're going to be in trouble. And they would never say that because they're too good at team players. I get that. But they know that they know they're not going to get hardly any help from the offense. That's a lot of pressure to live with.
Every week.
And they still won 10 games. So I think Phil Parker was more than deserving.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Now back to Taylor Swift. You think Phil Parker listens to Taylor Swift?
No.
You think Kirk does?
No.
I think he listens to her earlier stuff probably.
I don't.
You mean when she was country?
Yeah.
I don't. Do you think if you could pick a Taylor Swift song to have for the Iowa walkout on the field, what would it be instead of Back in Black?
He's
dun, dun, dun. Are you ready for it?
Yeah. No, he would have listened to her when she was country.
We don't know that though. I'm saying he probably.
To country.
I'm saying he probably didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, but he also said his favorite musician was Bruce Springsteen, and that ain't country.
No, but Bruce Springsteen's an oddity.
But he's not country.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
He's more rock than country.
Yeah, but he is an oddity.
And that is who Kirk said.
There's some country stations actually that play his stuff, like
what?
On Fire and.
Yeah, I love that song, but that's not a country song.
No, but they.
No, but can be a crossover song.
Yeah, they play it.
And I'm not a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I never have been. I like 5 or 6 of his songs.
I like them.
I would agree with that.
Like Born in the USA, I hate that song.
Terrible song.
Terrible. I love the.
You want him to be born?
Well, I don't care where he's born. I just don't like that song. I don't care where people are born. But I'm on Fire is a good Springsteen song. There's a couple others.
Born to Run.
I like that Ghost.
Yeah,
Ghost is a good.
I like that song. Yeah. Born to Run was okay. Yeah, I heard a lot of it, but like Cadillac and just some of his songs I just don't like. Yeah. But whatever.
But he really is like a musical oddity because people that like different, they like country.
Well, David Bowie was the same way.
Him and they like.
I'd say David Bowie was the same way. He crossed all over.
He didn't cross into country.
No, but he had a lot of different. His music was so different.
Oh yeah, well, David Bowie's more like an artist,
Well, people would.
One of those.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Springsteen fans would say he's an artist too.
Well,
would you compare David Bowie to say G.G. Allen?
No.
Well,
in a way,
well, yeah, because. Him and
he was a lot better at it.
Him and Jagger were trading.
But there's an element of
what were they trading? I'm not sure where
Well, they went to bed together.
Okay, they were. Yeah, I remember reading about this. So you're saying they had an affair?
Well, I don't know of an affair. I don't know how long.
They got under the sheets, but maybe that was for publicity.
It might have been.
Yeah. Well, if it's G.G. Allen, what they do? Both take a dump? Did they both take a dump in the bed?
One of them or both of them slid into home.
Do you think they both took a I mean, if you're going to compare it to Gigi, do you know that did they both take a dump under the sheets?
I believe they did.
Okay.
I think, in all fairness, David, they were both very theatrical, right?
Yeah.
I think Time Magazine.
There was some performance art involved for both of their careers.
But and you don't think they took a dump in the bed?
I do not.
Back to the Hawks.
Sure is.
Thanks, Tammy. So back to the Hawks and Caitlin Clark tonight.
Honest to God, I did this for my whole life. I never heard of this guy.
You've known about him now for almost 10 years.
I know, but I never heard of him before that.
But you've still never watched the documentary?
No, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, I could see not one.
You don't want to understand it.
I stumbled upon.
No, I don't want to understand.
I stumbled upon that documentary and kind of wished I hadn't seen it. You and Ann seeked it out.
We did.
They sought that thing out and watched it.
That surprised the hell out. Yet,
how did you handle the
how
poop?
can you watch NCIS? At least they're not pooping.
How did you handle the fecal scene?
I didn't like them.
What did Ann say during the fecal
She
scene?
didn't like them either.
But you grinded through.
Good, we grinded through.
Were you like eating? Hopefully you weren't eating chili.
Probably we were.
Eating chili?
Something.
Chocolate eclairs.
Hold on. You and Ann stuck through that, but 8 minutes of the Iowa men
Yeah.
you're out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Explain that
You
to
got
us.
it.
Explain that to us.
If I know how something turns out 8 minutes in, I don't necessarily.
So were
have
you
to
thinking
watch it.
maybe that Gigi was going to be reformed by the end of that documentary?
No, but surprisingly enough, some of his songs are reasonable.
By the end, he's doing Charmin commercials.
You know, honest to God, yeah, some of his songs, if you didn't know that he was crapping over everything.
I still say the call from that guy from
accessible.
Chicago
was the best.
Saying that he timed his arrival he arrived after the poop throw.
That is the best call we've ever had on this station.
He arrived
completely out of the blue.
He arrived after the poop throwing. He knew how the concert was going to play out. Well, listen.
Why did he know when the poop was going to be?
Because I think other previous
after
concerts.
The poop throwing.
You know,
that was an Engelbert Humperdinck song.
After the poop's thrown.
Oh my God! Oh Lord! You think Caitlin Clark's heard of Gigi Allen?
I hope not.
I'm guessing she hasn't.
No, definitely not.
And she's going to go her whole life, I'm hoping, without ever hearing
Did you see what Kelsey Plum said to Caitlin when it was about that?
Is she the one about ready to break her point? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. What'd she say?
She basically just said, really enjoy this while you can, because when you get into the NBA only, then it becomes about just basketball, and be ready for that.
Oh yeah, without question. Just the same with the men, and I think she's ready for that. I mean, she's going to. I mean, if Caitlin was a man, she would have been in the NBA 3 years ago.
Yeah.
If she was as dominant, she would have been gone. So yeah, women's basketball. What I like about it is the college experience is still so worthwhile for a lot of different reasons, including money. And WNBA, Caitlin's going to make a ton of money whether she stays or goes. She's making that. The WNBA, she's going to make top salary. What is that, like $165,000? I think we looked it up.
Plus whatever.
But she won't need to go overseas because she's got all of her endorsements. She's going to have the same endorsements now that she had then. Now there may be a couple Iowa things but the Hy-Vee and all that other stuff, that State Farm, that's going to follow her to the WNBA.
Yeah.
But that is good advice. Enjoy this because we should all enjoy it because I'm safe in saying in my lifetime we're never going to see another Caitlin Clark.
I would think not.
Not anyone who's dynamic as her.
No. Although I do certainly hope that Maddie Greenway comes here. Not that she's as good as Caitlin, because she isn't.
I think, we don't.
Probably.
She might be, but they're different types of players too.
Yeah,
just from watching her on film. Yeah, and I've had people ask me why Maddie Greenway hasn't committed yet. How the hell should I know? I never talked to the girl. She's like 16. I don't know why she hasn't committed. Maybe she won't come here.
She might not.
I think a lot of people assume just because it was Chad's daughter and Chad's go Hawkeyes all the way through. I get it. But some people want to carve their own path. But would I surprised if she came here? Absolutely not. But I don't know what Maddie Greenway's thinking.
A lot of people are going by the interview she gave when she was in like 8th grade
and I've
or
never
9th
seen
grade.
it. And I don't seek out Maddie Greenway interviews.
Well, and how often do you change your mind?
Well, exactly.
Yeah. I think a lot are surprised she hasn't. What is she now? What's she in, like 3rd grade now? I'm kidding. She's in like 10th grade, right? Or 11th?
11th.
Okay. I mean, she's in 11th grade now. She still has almost 2 years. I mean,
well, she's a 26 graduate.
No, then
she'll be in the class of 26.
She's only a sophomore right now. And people are, why hasn't she committed? Now, I haven't gotten those for a while. There was a stretch where she must have done something to where it brought her back to attention, or something happened with Chad that brought the attention back to Chad and Maddie. And I did have some people reaching out to me like, why hasn't she committed yet? And I just remember saying,
maybe she doesn't know where she wants to go.
My guess is that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
she's probably hearing from a lot of schools.
She knew where she wanted to go when she was in 7th grade or whatever it was.
And unlike Caitlin, she did not grow up in Iowa. There's a difference.
And you, besides that, you change so much, you know. And she's probably thinking, okay, I can play basketball, but what else does she want to do after that?
Yeah,
you know.
And I mean, but she's hearing from everybody. I assume Connecticut, Tennessee, and. So, yeah.
Everybody, just about.
I mean, and I'm sure Iowa's right in there, but she is not committed yet. But, yeah, she's only a sophomore.
Yeah. I just think that's bizarre.
How people get so wrapped up in
well, when you're in 8th grade and 7th grade, and all of a sudden you're supposed to know what the hell you're doing with your life.
I mean, the recruiting industry thing has just become so... I mean, it's almost suffocating how much coverage there is, wouldn't you? I mean,
yes,
there's almost too much of it.
To me, it's a little warped.
And this is coming from somebody. I used to love covering recruiting. I did recruiting back in the 90s when hardly anybody ever did for the Press Citizen. We did a ton of it on the forefront. But then in about the early 2000s, all these recruiting sites came on, and it's just been, now there's just so much. I mean, and the same with the portal. It'd be nice if these guys that enter the portal could announce it themselves, but the moment their name hits that portal, there's like 3 national rivals, 247 and ESPN. They tweeted out. I mean, that's just the world we live in.
Yeah. And it's always the messages are almost always the same, you know. God bless Nebraska. Thank you, Cornhusker Nation. Best fans in the world. I've made friends, lifetime friends here. And with that being said, I'm going into the portal.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
I mean, that's just how it is.
It's the same crap.
It is the same. Well, I was reading the latest with Labus, and I don't knock on Labus. I understand that and everything, but they only can say... You know, they're not going to say this place was crap, and go to the next.
And maybe a lot of them are happy in every phase except for their playing time. That's why these guys are leaving.
Yeah.
Well, and that's fine.
And in fairness to Joey Labus, the fact that he didn't get like one series this year, once he was healthy, I know people are like, well, he was hurt all. No, he wasn't hurt all year. He was their backup quarterback for most of the year. The fact that they never tried him once, I use the word odd in my column.
I think it's extremely odd.
It's just Kirk. What's funny is people will say, well, Kirk never switches. He switched kickers during the middle of a game. One of the best kickers they've had in a while. He benched him. I mean, Caleb Brown moved ahead of Deontay Vines. I mean, he's benched quarterbacks before now. It takes him a long time. But the fact that James Vandenberg took every snap in 2012 and the fact that Deacon Hill never was benched at all this year, I find that odd.
I do too, because it doesn't give the backup any chance, any experience whatsoever.
And the only way to interpret it is that it makes you think, wow, Joey Labus must be so bad in practice that he can't even convince these coaches for a series when the offense is just doing nothing. That's odd. Well, I mean, Joey Labus got beat. What makes me worry a little bit about Iowa's developing of quarterbacks right now is Deacon Hill, in a matter of like 6 weeks, moved ahead of Joey Labus, and Joey Labus had been in the program for 2 years and had played in a bowl game.
No, you should be concerned.
I mean, Deacon Hill
that.
comes in here last winter, and during the course of spring practice just moves ahead of a guy that's been here for 2 years and helped him win a bowl game. I mean, that doesn't speak well to Joey Labus. It doesn't speak well to Iowa developing quarterbacks either, especially when you see what Deacon Hill is on the field. And I don't want to turn this into a Deacon Hill bash fest. I'm not doing that, but he was mediocre on his best day, right?
Yes, and it seems like the staff is in love with strong-armed statues from Nate Stanley on. I mean...
Yeah, I do agree. I've had people tell me, I see people all the time, and one of them, well, hell, I was talking to John Baumer the other day. Hopefully he won't. I agree with him, and I've written it before. They do need to start recruiting more mobile quarterbacks to adapt to this, to today's defense. They have to.
But I don't know that they want to come here.
Well,
Brad Banks was a perfect example, but we haven't.
Well, Brad Banks wasn't very highly recruited either.
No, he wasn't.
Sometimes you have to take chances. But, I mean, if they would start recruiting more mobile quarterbacks early on during the process in 8th and 9th, when these guys are in 9th and 10th grade, sooner or later they're going to get one. I just don't think they're doing it much. I still think they think that traditional pro-style pocket passer who can throw into tight windows, that's what they want. The problem is they don't have the supporting cast to help that type of quarterback. As great as Tom Brady was, he had a great offensive line. He had arguably the greatest tight end ever. His receivers always seemed like they were wide open. Iowa's receivers don't get open very often.
No. Hello.
Yeah. Isn't that what the coaching staff kind of did with Charlie Jones? That he was a great punt returner, but they didn't get him in on the pass offense that much.
Well, he
transferred to. He transferred to
well, he was
Purdue.
buried on. He was like a reserve. He wasn't playing much as a receiver.
Wasn't
he
even
played
a
some.
starter, really.
No, he was behind Nico Reganey. Yeah, he wanted to go to a more.
And that's what I just could not figure out, and I don't blame the kid for going to Purdue.
No,
but,
I guess not.
Well, let's go Hawks. They can step it up. We got to get in the mentality of we can beat anybody, anytime, anywhere. Period. I don't ever think that we cannot win a game, and that's the kind of mentality we got to get. I think that's the way the players think about it.
Oh, I do. I
agree
with
you.
So. Yeah.
They can't go in there thinking that they can't win a game, and they don't. I know they don't. So I hope all the Hawkeye fans start thinking like that, because I've had some guys on Facebook.
This isn't like Peter Pan, I think I can fly. They couldn't beat Michigan. We all knew it. I mean,
well, not the way it played out. We couldn't.
The team, yes, I'm sure that they think that they can do it, but you can't ask the fans just to ignore reality.
Well, this game is played on emotion and momentum. And that play with Deacon Hill that we got jobbed on again, just like the Minnesota game, if that would have went our way, we could have went and scored. That would have been a big momentum thing, and who knows? We're never going to know, because we got the job treatment again,
well,
that's usual.
That's part of it. That's part of the equation. But don't forget about the talent end of the equation. That makes a big difference in these games.
Yeah, Michigan's a better team.
But look how many people Iowa's sending to the NFL.
Well, Michigan sends a ton to the NFL too.
Well, that's a given. I mean,
well, that's who they were playing, though, is what I'm saying. They were playing Michigan, so that argument doesn't work.
Which,
that Iowa sends a lot of guys. Yes, they do, but so does Michigan, is what I'm saying. There's been NFL players.
That's not. I wasn't using that as an argument in beating Michigan.
Well, what were you using it for?
Last game, I just made a comment. You know, we've got as good of players as anybody in the country. We've got a great program.
No, you're not. That's false. No, Iowa does not have as good of players as Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Georgia. I can go on and on and on. That's just Penn State. That's not true. They don't.
Our best players might be as good as somebody else's best players.
Iowa's got a defense that stands up with everybody, but football's a lot more than just defense.
Oh, well.
I don't want to argue with you, but to say that Iowa has as good of players as anybody, that's just false.
No.
That's not true.
I mean, you take the 5 best Iowa players, are they as good as the 5 best Georgia players? Maybe pretty close. But there's 105 other players that probably aren't
you need
as
more
good.
And you're right, you need more than 5 players.
Sure.
Play a football game.
Yeah.
But we've just got to, when you've got a school like Boise State, they're always being talked about as this great team, and other teams like them, and Iowa's not in the conversation. And in fact, that game with Michigan, I counted it. Fox didn't talk about Iowa except a little blurb here and there until like at least half hour into the pregame program. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's Fox. That's Fox TV for you.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Anyway, hey, thanks for letting me call. And
you bet.
Feel free.
Thanks for the input. We appreciate it.
Entitled to your opinion.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. And I do think that call didn't help, but Michigan was not going to lose that game under any circumstance.
No.
They just weren't. Hell, their offense was terrible, and they still won 26-0. I mean, and their offense was borderline terrible.
Oh, it was.
I didn't think they were going to win. But I go in there, watching it anyway, hoping.
I mean, the
praying.
Big Ten Network played a version. They played when Iowa was on the field and Joe Evans was firing up the players, as he does.
Yes.
One of the things he said in there, he says, guys, when he's screaming, he goes, they'd probably beat us 9 out of 10 times, but this is going to be that one time. That was Iowa's mindset going into that game.
Yeah.
To me, that they thought that they could do it, but they also understood they weren't the better team.
No, and we made too many mistakes to win that game. And if you reverse the plays, okay, if Michigan fumbles twice deep in their own territory, if Iowa gets the punt return for the touchdown instead of Michigan, Iowa probably is going to win the game.
I disagree.
Fair enough.
Because my guess is those 2 times they got the ball deep in territory, Iowa probably wouldn't have scored touchdowns.
Possibly not.
They probably wouldn't have, and I think the game would have been like 17-9.
But then you would have had to take 21 points off the board.
No, what I'm just saying though, I don't think that would have been enough for Iowa. I could be. I mean, we'll never know.
No, we won't.
All this ifs, ands, and buts stuff. That's just you got to move on. They got beat 26-0. They got outscored in their 2 big games. 57 57-0 against Penn State and Michigan. Enough said. I mean, you can compliment Iowa in a lot of ways, but there's also...
Well, you can blame the refs. You can do it.
The refs are not the reason they got outscored against Penn State and Michigan 57-0.
Not at all.
I mean, seriously, think about that. We're sitting here trying to rationalize a team that didn't score any points in either game. But that still doesn't take away what Phil Parker did.
Yeah, you can't expect the fans to go, just...
But no, that fan, I get it. I respect his passion, but... To say that Iowa has as good a player, they're nowhere close to Georgia, Alabama. And Iowa does send a lot of players to the NFL, but they don't send more than those teams.
No.
And those are the teams that Iowa has to eventually get through if they want to be elite. I mean, and that's the goal. That's the last frontier for Kirk. He's done everything else. He's the master of the 8, 9, and even 10-win seasons. Now he's got to try to have. I mean, one of the reasons Hayden became a legend is Hayden figured out a way to get past Michigan and Ohio State. He didn't beat Ohio State much, but he did. But he was able to break that stranglehold.
He broke the big 2, little 8.
Yeah, and he did it mostly by beating Michigan. I mean, Hayden had a lot more success against Michigan than he did Ohio State. Same with Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk's beaten Michigan 7 times. He's beaten Ohio State, twice?
I think twice.
Yeah, and he's come close a few times, but no, Ohio State, year in and year out, and I think Kirk would even say this without being disrespectful to his players, Ohio State's got better players than Iowa.
And it's funny, the 2 times Kirk has beaten Ohio State, thrashed them.
Yeah, 33-7 and 55-24. Now the 33, that was a bad Ohio State team. It went 8-5. The other one though, that team went 12-1 and won the East. So yeah, that was. But no, I don't want to take away anything from Iowa, but Iowa's talent is not at the same level as the Michigans and the Ohio States, the Penn States, Alabama, Georgia, Texas. I'd even say Notre Dame.
I mean, was Tristan Wirfs better than equally as good as a Georgia lineman? Yes.
Yeah.
But how often does that happen? Not very often.
No, and Alabama puts out linemen like that all the time.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, Caden Proctor, I'm telling you, he struggled a little bit early in the year, but when I watch him now, man, he's rock solid, and he's a true freshman starting at left tackle for Alabama. I know I see a lot of Iowa, frustrated Iowa fans who rip him on Twitter. Well, you can rip him all you want. The kid's obviously impressive, and he would be. Would he be starting at left tackle for Iowa?
Well, of course he would.
I think he'd be starting at right tackle for Iowa.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I do. Mason Richmond has started 40-some games. I don't know, but that's another thing. It's not worth discussing because it didn't happen. I mean, he was committed here for a while, changed his mind. I mean, I wished he would have stayed committed to Iowa, selfishly, but you can't knock the kid.
No.
I mean, he's made a decision that's in his best interest, and now he's in the college playoff. He's starting for an Alabama Nick Saban coach team
as a freshman.
As a true freshman.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. And he has gotten better. He has gotten a lot better. Look at us. We're back on it.
Yeah.
No more Gigi Allen.
Gigi Allen would have been a terrible football player.
Well, he could have been a good running back. Nobody would want to get close to him.
Yeah,
you smelled that guy?
Well, I think he'd be a good
offensive coordinator.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to touch the football. The football, we drop the football.
The D-backs are just letting it go right into the eye.
Yeah, people are going, I'm not picking it up. I'm not jumping on it.
Rob Howe does his mailback. He hashtags everything Hawk Fanatic. My question for him was Manassas or Uriah Heep. That was my question for his Hawkeye.
Manassas.
Easy. I think he did pick Manassas.
Yeah.
Manassas. I went down and I'm going to bring it in. I did find them. Were they Manassas was kind of like
it was Stephen Stills.
A star band though, but wasn't it kind of guys kind of merged together and
yeah, but Uriah Heep.
Come on.
Jesus.
You take Manassas over Uriah Heep?
Yes.
How about you, Hunter? Okay.
Well, yeah, we're unanimous.
Uriah Heep has no respect here.
No.
So Gigi Allen or Uriah Heep?
Some of it, there's Uriah
Hunter's
Heep.
defending Uriah Heep now.
Some of Gigi Allen's songs. Yeah.
Hunter, Uriah Heep or Gigi Allen? Hunter's got a limit, man.
I'm with him.
He's not going to. You're more fixated with Gigi Allen than yourself.
No, some of his songs are damn good.
I'm not ready to go there.
Well, I'm not going
there.
In that genre, no.
Better than I thought.
In his genre, there.
What,
I mean,
the poop genre.
The poop genre.
No, but you get rid of the poop for a second.
You can't. That's part of the legacy. You can't get rid of the poop if you're talking.
Get rid of the poop for a second. Did you really say that?
You can't do that. Remember, you're forgetting about the blood and shards of glass, too.
Okay, but I'm saying I've listened to some of the songs, and some of the songs are
I will
good.
say they're better than I thought they would be.
Because you were judging them all on the poop.
You probably don't like punk.
Well, I don't like punk at all.
No, I don't.
I mean, I've never, like the Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
I could listen to like a minute of
His stuff is more accessible than the Sex Pistols.
Oh, you played the one song.
Actually, I would agree with you.
Yeah, the Sex Pistols.
Some of his stuff.
Did you like anything by the Sex Pistols?
Not really.
Hunter, did you? Yeah. Oh, you did? Like what? All right, God Save the Queen. Sorry to the caller who. You got to let us know when we have a caller.
They got to have a little bit of patience.
Yeah, but not when we're just talking crap, literally and figuratively.
We were in a.
I'm sorry, caller.
There was a flow.
Call back, and we will be.
If he had something, she had something relevant,
he would have waited,
or interesting, he would have stayed on.
So you think he was just going to drop a bomb and?
This place.
But no, this transfer portal stuff. I mean, it's just every day. I mean.
Now, did you see that proposal from the NCAA president that he put out?
What did it say?
Proposing sweeping change where the conferences where all the players get a minimum of $30,000 each per year, a minimum, and they can pay them more.
So where's it coming from?
The money?
Yeah.
The colleges. And they lump together the college.
So are we talking every athlete? Are we talking soccer players and swimmers and divers and because you're going to have if they're going to open themselves up to lawsuits it's just going to be football and that's just I don't think that will work.
I think and
if it's
also,
coming from the university.
But it's real interesting. You should read it because it's a pretty sweeping change, and it's going to be it separates your really high profile teams.
Okay, I'll read it, but it sounds like lawsuit city to me. If the money's coming from a state university, that's where I just think people will file. It's different when it's NIL. That money's private. That money's earned away from the university.
And they still have to comply with the Title 19. And so
so that means that rower's going to get $30,000 just like the starting tailback in the football.
That's the way I understand it.
Okay, but
no, football is a different deal. Everything else.
I'm telling you, that's where the lawsuits are going to come, though, if it's university money, is what I'm saying. I just don't see how that can work. I mean, maybe it will, but I just think it'll open themselves up. NIL is different because it's privately. Money comes from private sources. It comes from separation from the university. Of course,
I agree with
the university is compatible and helps them, what have you, but they're two separate entities. So, yeah. We'll see. I mean, I'll read it, but I just don't see how that's going to. Plus, we're living in an era now where everybody sues if they don't get what they want.
Yeah,
I mean that's kind of where we are.
But it's You read his proposal, and it's very interesting, and it's very.
And some universities are going to want to spend more or less. Some universities aren't going to want to finance their athletic departments as much as others are too.
And some of them aren't going to be able to.
Yeah, so
no question.
Yeah, I just think that seems pretty flawed. What do you got, Captain? You're reading something.
I'm sick of this guy.
You blocking somebody on the chat room?
No, except in another page of ours. He just posts crap that doesn't go along with the page.
Scooter says bounce.
Oh, were you on Facebook?
Yeah.
What was he posting?
We've got a 99 plus KFMH fan page.
Okay.
And it's for the old KFMH, not the...
Where you might hear Uriah Heep.
Yeah.
Scooter says, when in doubt, bounce them.
Hunter, I say play some Uriah Heep the next time you're on 99.
The guy posts, here's what I'm listening to today. Who gives an F? It has, we played it on KFMH, but they played it everywhere.
What?
Doobie Brothers, listen to the music. Why would I post that? That has no direct correlation with KFMH, and I don't care what he's listening to.
No. Why would you?
Yeah, but that's not a bad Doobie song.
Here's my playlist today.
Yeah, but it doesn't belong. It's not anything. It's not specifically the old.
He just wanted you to know what music he was listening to.
He wants to post it so that everybody can know what he's listening.
Who cares?
Who cares what he's listening
to? Who cares?
Who cares what I'm listening to? Who cares what any of us listen to? It's your own. Yeah, it's. I don't get it.
Back to the poop. No, I mean back to the
Hawks. So what do you think? Hawks by how many tonight?
Tonight, I'm going to say Iowa.
Hey, there's a phone call.
83-74.
Hello.
9. Okay.
That last caller, leave it to Pat to squash the Iowa City Day Drinkers about the talent level on the team. But anyway, do you know what is realistic for expecting? Obviously, we're going to see more people go into the portal. What is realistic for us to start seeing us approaching and signing people out of the portal?
Well, it's going to happen. There's going to be something. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a bunch of Power 5 proven wide receivers knocking the door down to transfer to Iowa. I know that's what fans want. I don't see that happening.
I agree with that.
So we'll see. That doesn't mean they won't get receivers.
And we were a little bit over
those guys like Seth Anderson. Do you see them? Like a player like that from a smaller school. Do you see that happening before the bowl game or after the bowl game?
It could go either way. I think there may be some guys leave after the bowl game because why wouldn't you want to use it? Hey, man, I'm going to probably leave here, but I wouldn't mind taking this bowl trip and going down to Florida.
And if I have a great game,
I can either prove myself here better or advertise for other schools.
So, and also real quick for like Joey Labus, and wish him luck. But
sure.
Does that mean he's not practicing? He's done.
Oh, he's done.
Do you have
now.
any involvement with us?
The way I interpret it, the moment you announce you're in the portal, he's looking for a school now. He's not. Yeah. My guess is he's not spending any time practicing. He's looking for his next home and finishing classes. Our finals.
If you were the coach, why would you want to give Joey Labus now? Give him reps in practice.
And if you're a coach that maybe wants to bring him in, why would you want him to risk getting hurt at the school that you're leaving? Yeah, so my guess is, I saw that Ontario Thompson, he's gotten offers from like North Carolina, Charlotte, UNI. He's gotten some decent offers. And I saw Brendan Des Fernandez got Central Michigan. It would not surprise me if Joey Labus went to a MAC school, something like that.
I would say.
Well, with the same premise of why would you want to give Joey Labus any reps? Because it's not like it's a.
Well, they're not. That's why.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But because of that, why would you? What would be the rationale for letting Brian finish up versus have somebody internally have a?
Because my guess it was part of the It was a compromise and part of the separation. I guess that's the. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it was. They reached an agreement. Okay. Because to fire him and just have him gone in season, I don't know how Kirk would have handled that. I think it was tough enough, but I think that was more of a compromise. And that's just me speculating.
Do you see anybody else on the squad having at least a little different role on offense for that bowl game?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like maybe a halfback pass or something like that? Or?
No, I mean like one of the other positional coaches having just a slightly different role.
No, if Brian's there, it's going to be more of the same. No. It's going to be more if he's there. If it's going to be Brian calling the plays, and John Moodbyer in his ear helping, whatever. But no, I don't see anything major as long as Brian's there. I'm still not 100% convinced. Maybe somebody will hire him before the game. The game's still what? How many days away? 26 days away. A lot can happen. But if he's there, no, it'll be Brian being the coordinator, headphones on, and maybe yelling and screaming at officials if he doesn't like a call.
And to my knowledge, it's never really been discussed of his like strong interest to become a head coach, but getting the Broyles Award. Is there any chance of Phil Parker getting the Iowa job for 6 to 8 years?
Well,
don't know.
There's one thing standing in his way right now. Kirk. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
that's a good point.
If Kirk were to step down after this season, my guess is if Phil was interested, he would definitely be part of the interview process. Without question.
I would hope so.
But that's really all the further I could go with that answer.
Well, I mean, I think you mentioned it as well as other pundits about, but thinking that it's about a 50-50 shot that he's back next year.
And that's just me guessing, speculating. I don't have anything really to base that on other than gut feelings and talking to colleagues and stuff I'm hearing.
Yeah. All right. Go Hawks.
Yep. I can be wrong. I've been wrong many times before. But saying 50-50, you're covering your ass, because if he comes back, I told you it was 50, so it's kind of a weak stand on my point.
I think he'll be back.
Yeah, that's your gut feeling.
About it, yeah.
You don't have it, and none of us have anything to base it on. We don't have inside information.
I base my feelings that he's back on very simply because Brad Heinrich says he is coming back, and whether that's true or not, who knows?
Yeah, and that's definitely information. But like I said,
but the only one who knows is Kirk
and Mary.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Mary knows what Kirk's thinking. I mean, I would think so. It's his wife. So, but neither one would surprise me, coming back or leaving at this stage. But I do think
find out.
I do think
that always know what you're thinking.
I do think if he does come back, though, I'm just thinking more and more that Boudmeier is going to be the coordinator. Stuff I'm hearing.
Yeah. Boy, that's a uninspiring hire, at least from a fan standpoint.
Oh, it will not go over well, but Paul Chryst wouldn't have gone over that well either.
It
would have gone over better than Boudmeier, but it wouldn't have gone over well because, I'm not sure what you're
because he was a really good offensive coordinator.
No, he wasn't.
Paul Chryst?
They got gradually worse.
Well, when he became the head coach.
But they weren't that. I mean, Michigan, when that running, Melvin Gordon and all those guys were running, that was not great play calling. That was great recruiting, great lines. And whatever. I've never been that impressed with Paul Chryst as an innovative play caller. And they got gradually worse. The quarterback position got worse under his watch. The offense got worse, and they fired him. That's all I'm saying.
They fired him when he was the head coach, and they
felt they were getting
he
gradually
wasn't
worse.
Yes, they were. But not when he was an offensive coordinator. If you look at,
I have, Tom. It's what I do for a living.
Okay, well,
they weren't as good as you're making them out to be. They had some great running attacks. When's the last time, other than Russell Wilson, Wisconsin had a good quarterback?
Well, I would say that was always a problem.
That's Paul Chryst.
Always.
So you're going to hire a guy who had struggle. I mean, Russell Wilson's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He played there 1 year, was great.
My feelings are Paul Chryst and Kirk Ferentz would be a very good match with each other.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think
Fair
it
enough.
would just be more of the same.
Fair enough.
I mean, Paul.
Was it on this show you guys interviewed Denny Lane, or was it separate? Because he died. He just died.
Yeah,
he just died.
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay.
I've got the posted.
It was a great interview too. He was fascinating.
No, I knew about it, but I didn't know if you guys talked about it on this show because I couldn't remember if it was on this show you interviewed him or if that was separate.
No, and I put Jim actually. Go Now is in there. You can play it if you want to, or take it out, or whatever.
It's a good song.
Now. What's Go Now?
Go Now.
Denny Lane, Moody Blues.
Yeah, Moody Blues.
I've never heard of that song in my life.
And also Wings did it as well.
Satin.
I bet you've heard of Go Now if you heard
Story
it.
in Your Eyes.
Huge hit.
It was.
No, it was a huge hit.
Yes, it
For
was.
the Moody Blues, yeah. Not one of my
what's it
favorite
called?
Moody Blues songs, but
Go Now.
Great song.
yeah, it's on the Greatest Hits album. But no, I'm not trying to be real negative about Paul Chryst. I just don't think that it would be a more galvanizing hire than John Boudmeier just because of who he is. But no, Paul Chryst, I mean, just the track record's not near as impressive as what. I mean, they just didn't develop quarterbacks, and their offense just got gradually worse every year under him. And that's, I think, a lot of Iowa fans would be like, "What the hell?" But I don't think it's going to be him either. But I mean,
we shall see. I don't know that it's going to be him or not either.
But if you think about it, though, when is the last time Wisconsin had a good quarterback?
Well, Russell Wilson fell into their lap.
And that was 2011. I mean, all the quarterbacks after him have been mediocre at best.
No, for sure.
And that, to me, would be a concern. Okay, you had Graham. Their big guy was Graham Murray. He got worse as he played at Wisconsin.
Well, he sure didn't get it done, did he?
Yeah. So, like I said, I wish they'd get out of the Boudmeyer, Christ, and we don't know what Kirk's thinking. We're all just speculating. We don't have any idea. Maybe he is thinking outside the box. But
and if he's not coming back, then he's not thinking about it at all.
Well, yeah, that's true too. We don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't have a real gut feeling either way on that right now. I'm not ready to say, oh, yeah, he's definitely coming back. So we'll see. And a lot may depend on what happens to Brian. I mean, and maybe Brian will take a year off from coaching. Maybe he'll take a year to kind of regroup and figure out what he wants to do with the family, where he wants to live, and whatever. But my guess is Brian Ferentz would be able to land an NFL job, position job.
Hello. Hey, guys. John Budmeyer, has he not been fired, not retained, or let go from every position he's ever had as a offensive coordinator?
Well, I'm not sure how he left Wisconsin to become the coordinator at Colorado State, but I believe that coach was fired that year, so he was part of the firing of the coaching staff. But yeah, no, I mean
they weren't good.
They weren't good, and they weren't good when he was at Wisconsin. So and they've been horrible since he's been here. That would be my concern.
Agreed.
I mean, if everybody's made this comment about Brian not being a quarterback coach, and Pat, I can't remember. Someone has said that Brian's even said, that he
said that at his press conference when he got the promotion. He's like, I've never coached quarterbacks. I'm going to have to learn. He admitted that he had no experience coaching.
So if you bring in, I guess my question is, the guy that would be doing, learning, Brian would be probably learning from on the job and doing whatever while he's there, and the guy working with him would be the gift from heaven that Kirk said, John Budmeyer. I would imagine.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. All I'm saying is that hire would not energize the fan base.
And I've seen these quarterbacks, and I haven't seen the other two, but Deacon Hill, that dude's mechanics, from his footwork to ball placement to everything, is god-awful. John Budmeyer should not even have a job at Iowa either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I guarantee you anybody else would agree with me. I know sometimes people got to be, politically correct and whatever. This is an absolute joke, and it's unacceptable.
Well, the last 2 years of offense have been unacceptable.
Yes.
And that's why Brian Ferentz is being fired.
Exactly.
And that's why Brian Ferentz is being fired.
And apparently you cannot trust the head coach, for whatever reason, to hire somebody competent or somebody who might go outside the box and think of it. Then it's time for the head man to go too. I hate it. I like him. But day and age in football, people want to win. There's a lot of money that goes into this stuff.
Hey, fair enough. You are
need to
certainly entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
No, you are entitled to your opinion. And there's other fans I know that feel the same way he does.
There are.
But there's also fans like you that want Kirk back. They will stay with Kirk through thick and thin, and that's each person is entitled to their opinion.
I mean, Iowa to fire a 10-win coach, and I don't care if it was in the Big Ten West.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No.
No, they're not.
But there are fans that wouldn't mind seeing it happen.
No, you're right.
I agree with you.
Of course.
If
not fired, just they want him to retire.
Yeah, if he goes, he goes. If he stays, he stays. All I'm saying is, I think that I don't think he's going to leave like this.
And I do think that the next coordinator, if he does stay, and if it is just Boudmeyer, that guys just show you where Kirk's thinking is. By God, we're going to do it my way. We don't need to think outside the box. It's going to be more of we just need to do what we do better. And I think that's where I just don't see Kirk making a huge effort to land some $2 million coordinator who's going to revamp his offense. I don't see that happening. I would be surprised. But I know that's what a lot of fans want.
Hello.
Hail to the Redskins. Hail victory. Praise on the warback. Fight for DC. Fight on, and we have won from the Washington. Hail to the Redskins. Hail victory. Praise on the warback. Fight for DC.
Was that Neil Diamond?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could that thing have been longer? That was like the Ben-Hur of bits.
That was John Budmeyer, everybody.
Yeah. Hello.
My opinion, if it counts, Kirk is an 11-game winner, and he lost one game due to very bad officiating, to say the least.
No.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Unfortunately, the record shows differently.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So you're going to play that jingle? Wasn't that the guy, the real guy? What's that jingle? I got a home. I want to hear that. Why can't I hear that?
Oh, play the damn jingle.
Because was he? He wasn't joking though, right?
But I know another joke from the younger man that no one understands. I guess he failed again.
That thing's kind of mean.
Yes.
Really? Don't you think it's mean?
Just a little.
Calls him a failure.
But Bill doesn't care. He charges right in. Because how many people have a jingle? Not very many individuals.
No,
not many.
Not many. I mean, who made that jingle? Whose voice is that?
It's
Matt Skinner.
Matt Skinner.
Okay. No, it's a pretty good one. Yeah. Mean, but, sometimes you need a little mean, don't you?
Sure.
Yeah. Mean makes the world go round.
Christmas song,
there you go.
Isn't it? We need a little mean.
You need a little meanness. But no, this next month is going to be, these next 6 to 7 weeks are going to be really interesting with Kirk Ferentz and Hawkeye football.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm an Iowa State fan. And I was just wondering, I was listening to the Iowa State show because all I hear is complaining about the officiating.
What?
Because Iowa State fans always complain about the officiating.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Well, like I said, I'm not complaining. I've clearly said that the officiating had nothing to do with Iowa losing that game, so I'm not sure if you're listening closely to our show.
Are you drunk?
Yeah, I was listening to a lot of people that were calling in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Have you been drinking?
He sounds kind of like Otis.
Have you been drinking?
So you going to be pulling for the Cyclones tonight against Caitlin Clark and them?
You're drunk.
He must be gone.
No, he's
No,
there.
he's still there.
You think he was drunk?
Yes.
He did sound a little...
Yeah.
He sounded a little worse for wear, if you will.
Yeah.
Sounded like,
Hello. So that.
With that.
Are we done?
We're done. All right. HawkFanatic.com.